on social media, Russian forces are preparing to launch the RS-Q-6 intercontinental ballistic missile with a range of 6,000 kilometers in a possible attack on Kiev.
Again, SPY just kind of moving sideways here along the VWAP. No really good opportunities right yet for SPY super system trades. A lot of them went down to support, and just kind of moving around. Again, we're inside of yesterday's candle on the SPYs, the Qs, and the IWM. Yeah, we're inside yesterday's candle range. We haven't got above the previous high, and we haven't got below the previous low. So we're inside of the candle from yesterday. So what's going to happen? Well, it could go any way, but it's likely to stay inside that candle today, inside of yesterday's candle. So which means you're probably going to have to, if you do SPY super systems, you're going to have to be fairly nimble, and you're going to have to probably take profits pretty quickly. I mean, getting a little breakdown here on the SPY right now, but it's got 580, 539. Remember, 580, 539 is a support level on this, a horizontal support. It's held pretty well for the last 4 days. So that's your downside. That's your downside target, which isn't an awful lot. Thoughts on IBKR? Thoughts on IBKR, Isaac? Interactive Brokers. Yeah, it's a pretty nice technical setup right here. No earnings coming up. Yeah, it's a pretty nice setup. Again, bull flag coming up off the 8. That's a nice long. You could pull back to the 8 again, so you got to give it some time. Earnings not until the 21st of January. And it's a bull flag too, by the way. See the bull flag, flagpole, flag. Got some extra volume. You notice it pops up on extra volume, so you're looking for high volume to drive it up. Pretty low probability trading environment right now in the market. We call it LPTE. Saw says, "Hey Dave, yeah, I have a feeling not much will happen today with NVIDIA earnings right after the close." Yeah, NVIDIA earnings is a big deal. But we're just inside yesterday's range on the market. We're staying inside of it, and you know, we've had a big pullback here in the last 3 or 4 days, and then a nice big bullish engulfing bar yesterday on the SPY with a nice bounce right up to resistance at the 8, and today we're just putting in an inside day. So that's what I expect it's going to be, but that doesn't mean that's what's going to happen. I'm just basing this on price. But right now we're not getting much movement at all in the SPY. It's just compressing. Again, we do have NVIDIA tonight, so if you have any other chip stocks, be aware that they'll be impacted by what NVIDIA does tonight. AMD, Intel, LSCC, ASML, all the chip stocks. ASML down pretty hard today, down 2%. You see what MSTR is doing. Again, this is what we talked about this morning. Is I did called them a spreader yesterday. I didn't today because I was afraid it was too far extended. So it makes the likelihood of success less than it was yesterday. And you see what's happened to it right now. So we got a little bit of pullback here. Again, I don't want to chase it way up here with any kind of bullish position. Interesting. Yeah, that's a good question. Okay, he asks, when you take a SPY super system trade, is the color change of the indicator not confirmed until the candle is closed, or is it changing based off the close of the prior candle? You know, that's always a good question. Again, if you look at this, look at this going from red to blue. Typically, I wait for the candle to close to get this color to make sure that it's confirmed. But like in a case like this, I'm not touching it anyway for long. And if I'm touching this for short right here, this is probably I probably could enter it right here if I wanted to go short. It's just that I don't have much room to the downside because of support. But this would be an okay one. And a lot of times I will take it when it's just forming. If the other criteria are intact. You know, if it just changed blue and it was breaking above the VWAP and the pivot point or something, or breaking above the VWAP without a pivot point above here to offer resistance, then I would take it. Sometimes I'll take it before the candle closes, especially if it's looking like it's going to be a pretty big candle. And if I wait, I'm gonna miss quite a bit of the move. But you know, it's not a bad idea just to actually wait for confirmation on these things. That's the best way to do it. Wait for confirmation. I mean, I will jump the gun sometimes and take it once the color has gone from red to blue. If the candle hasn't closed yet, if I feel like the price action warrants it. Right now, the price action doesn't warrant anything. Again, it's an LPTE, low probability trading environment right now, which means don't take any trades, or if you take any, take very small size, take quick profits. Don't be looking for any big runs.
Watching that gas hitting new day highs, up over 6%.
welcome to the folks in YouTube watching us right now. Got the room open for about an hour or so. Again, this is the Compass of the SPY Super System software, piece of software that you can buy that goes on your Thinkorswim platform. You don't have to pay for the Thinkorswim platform, and if you buy it, the Brightline folks will put it right on your Thinkorswim platform for you, and it'll look exactly like mine, with the same indicators, same colors for our indicators, multi-time frame momentum here, current time frame momentum here, long-term trend here, and this is a derivation of money flow. These are the two most important ones. The one we use for the SPY Super System is this one right here, the spot, current time frame momentum. We're looking for red and yellow is bearish, green and blue is bullish, and you see we're switching back and forth colors, but we got very flat action here right now in the SPY. You get resistance just not too far away, not too far above, and support not too far below. So we're in a very tight range on all of the indexes. Again, NVIDIA reports tonight, so a lot of people waiting on that to see what that does to the market. And you know, there's saber rattling going on in the Ukraine war, so that's spooking the market a little bit too. So right now, nothing. I don't really see that much to trade right now. The only thing I saw that I liked was FPRX, but it's a momentum stock. If you can't trade options, it's just trade stock on the thing, and pull back to the VWAP and then a bounce. That's kind of the trade you would take on something like that, just a quick trade. Again, I have some people working in the house, so you might hear some noise. Might hear my dog bark. So sorry for that. Again, very, very flat day here, inside day, which means that this indexes are trading inside of yesterday's range. You'd really kind of want to see a break above or a break below yesterday's range to think you're going to get any kind of a significant move. Market very flat. There's a little pull down in the SPY here, but again, these are really tight trades to take. This was good for about 20 cents. That's all. And, you know, it's just not a good day for SPY Super System trades right yet. Sorry for all the noise I've got going on. I'm trying to minimize that. Again, I got some work going on here, so a little bit of noise. Again, the SPY. Again, this was a decent trade, but you can't stay in these very long. 20 cents, 30 cents max on these things, and the SPY's coming right back down to the 585.39, which is a support level. So not a lot of runway to the upside or the downside on any of these right now. A little bit more room to the upside if it starts to bounce. Again, sorry for all the noise. I can't really keep my mic open till some of this work gets done, so apologize for that, but I'll try to come back in as soon as it dies down a little bit, because I know it can be pretty annoying. I see Saw on the Saw Sonic. I personally won't trade the you like GME today. It's strong. Yeah, it's pretty strong today. I don't like GME either. It's got resistance at 29.18. It's trading at 28.41. All right, it's quiet for the time being. Again, market not doing much of anything. I say this was for SPY super system. This is more of a scalpy type SPY super system because we don't really have a lot of runway. 585.39 was support, and this thing's broke down. So you could make 20 to 30 cents on the SPY here. That's it, and you got to be quick. Not a lot of movement in the markets right now. Again, RDT Reddit, which pulled back hard today. Some folks had mentioned that. We got on in it yesterday. They were concerned about the pullback. This thing is a beautiful setup on the daily chart, and it's bounced back quite a lot here already today. Got down as low as Reddit's low today was $130 a share. It's trading at $135.55. It's bounced $5.55. Really quickly right off of the 8 exponential moving average. Here's the Reddit chart on the TC2000. Love this setup. Big bull flag, pull right back to the 8. PBO, pullback opportunity, bounced here, bounced up yesterday. We took it yesterday, pulling back a little bit today. This is still in a really nice trend here. Again, no reason to be watching your P&L on stocks like that. All it's going to do is get you irritated. You get frustrated. You start trading emotionally because you're down on the trade and start to worry about it. Just look at the daily chart. There's no reason to worry about that whatsoever. All right, quiet now. Again, Q's nice little bounce. Again, this is a quick SPY super system trade right here. Red, blue, bumping above the VWAP. You've got the pivot point above. You can take this for a candle or two. When I looked at this, it was going, I didn't take it, but when I looked at it, it was going for about 260. It's 286 right now, so about 30 cents. Those are the kind of trades you're going to get today, most likely. It's just quick ones and then out. You know, I'm not a big scalping fan, so you got to be really quick on these things. Shy looking at FTNT, Fortinet, on a potential pullback opportunity. Yeah, it is. Here's Fortinet right here, FTNT. Just remember NVIDIA tonight, folks. So NVIDIA's got earnings after hours. Yeah, this is a nice pullback. Again, this is why I use the 8 and the 15th together. I use them in combination because a lot of times the price action will break the 8 and a lot of people will bail right on there. But I like to use the 15 because a lot of times it'll go through the 8 and then hold the 15. If you look back over the history of this, you see the 8 here, the white line, and the orange line is the 15. See how it came through it, touched it, came back up again, touched it, came back up again, broke through it here. This one came down to the 50. But again, this is what we're doing right here. But this is a good potential PVO, pullback opportunity, set up nicely. There's the Qs. So that would have been a nice trade in the Qs right there, if you were quick enough to get into it and then take the profits. Because it's running right up toward the pivot point right here. So you can ride it until it gets there, but it's pretty close, and it's also right up against the 8 exponential on the daily chart. So it's right up against resistance, but that's a nice little gain on the Qs. Relative to Fortinet, PNW reports today as well. Shy. Yeah, I'm going to wait on it. I'm not going to touch it. I'm going to wait on most tech stocks until I see what NVIDIA does tonight. I mean, we got Reddit on right now, so that's enough for me until tomorrow. I didn't catch that Q trade. I tried to catch it. I couldn't catch it. It was moving too fast. But it was a nice SPY super system trade right there as well. That Qs went from 260 something. It's up to 320 now. So that's a pretty about 60-cent gain. That's a pretty nice little run right there. Hard to get much more of a run than that today, on a day like today. Getting some bounce here in the market, though. Again, yesterday's high in the market was 591.04, so basically 591. So that would be a breakout to the upside. That would get us above the 8 and would also give us quite a bit of room to take some trades. So again, Q's working out pretty nicely here. Again, pivot point right there. Can't chase it here, but this was a nice entry right here. Right here or anywhere in this candle. All right, just to kind of go over the SPY super system trades. Again, we've got a lot of other trades we take besides those, but a lot of folks like to trade these indexes off the SPY super system because it's so effective and the win rate's so high on this thing. I got 24-1 this month so far on the SPY super system, but that's not a lot of trades. I didn't take very many yesterday or the day before. Right to the pivot point. Let's see if that holds. they're looking at APP. Yep, another one, another strong one again. Again, market down, APP up almost 5%, another beautiful setup. Again, this was another PBO, another pullback opportunity on the daily chart. Again, another bull flag, followed by this big volume here, right here off of the 8, and then moving up. Nice, really nice pattern on APP. Again, this is most likely an all-time high in APP. Yeah, it is. Nice setup in APP. Again, kind of a sluggish day in the market. APP moving up nicely. SPY right up to the pivot point. Qs right up to the pivot point. IWM doesn't have the pivot points below it. IWM's got room to the 8, which is 231.08, so about a dollar to the upside in IWM on this break right here. Sergio, can I describe the colors on the SPY super system? Sure. You got 4 colors. Blue and green are bullish, red and yellow are bearish. So, you know, basically as the stock goes from bullish, like this green, and it becomes bearish, it goes yellow, and it becomes very bearish, it goes red, and then it starts to move back bullish again, it goes to blue, and if it continues to move up, it'll switch to green. So those are your colors: yellow and red for bearish, blue and green for bullish. And the switch of colors is what we use on the SPY super system for trading. If I took a look at the Qs right here on this trade we just talked about, I tried to get in and missed. You see it went from red to blue, bearish to bullish. Institutions selling, institutions buying. Stock breaking above the VWAP, the pink line right here, volume weighted average price. You get in right here or right here, take it, and then I would be getting out here at this pivot point. That was good for a pretty good move. 60, 70, 80 cents, close to $1 on that move right there. Lines also. Okay, the lines here we got. If you're looking at the lines, this white line is a pivot point. It's a resistance level and a support level, but I don't trade off of it. This pink line is the VWAP, volume weighted average price. That's on the SPY super system. That is one of our key levels for support and resistance to get in. That would be the entry right here as it breaks above the VWAP. Price breaks above the VWAP, institutions buying, that would be a long. All right, and the other one is the 15, this little red line here that turns green. That's another one. If the SPY gets way away from the VWAP, then you can use the 15 as your support or resistance level. So we trade off of both of those. Okay? Isaac, can I explain why I chose to take profits on Pfizer at $8? Looks like the stock starts to break out. It may run a bit more. It could. It could always run a bit more. Again, I'm not trying to get to the pick the very tops on these things. But if I look at FI, all right, I've got options expiring November 29th. Well, that's a week from Friday. So I'm looking for a relatively passive gain at this point, because I'm not out far enough in time on these things. You know, if I was out to December 29th or something, I might let it run a little bit more. But that's why I've got it there at 8. Because we don't want to pull back in this thing with a week to go to expiration. You know, taking profits and exit levels on stocks on your options it's just very discretionary. There's no hard and fast rules unless it's running right into a resistance level. You've got to be, you know, if you're satisfied with the gain and you've got a good profit, then trying to let the, you know, they say let the winners run, cut the losers short. Nobody knows how to do that. They can tell you how to do that. Try to do that. I use technical resistance, technical support, and if I've got a good enough profit in it, if I'm looking at a Pfizer and I'm getting in at 6.70 and out at 8, I'm making $1.30 on that. That's plenty. That's a good move. Is the thing, could it keep running up? Sure, it could. But could it reverse and go right back to the 8 again? Of course it could. Because if the more it gets extended from the 8, the more likely it is to start to head back to the 8. Okay? That's, again, it's a difficult, X is very, that's the hardest part of trading, is trying to just pick when to get in, when to get out, not when to get in, but when to get out, to take profits and take losses. Losses are easy because it's got to break down below your support levels. Profits are more difficult because you could be leaving money on the table. But listen, our job is not to try to pick the very top and get in at the very bottom. Our job is to take the meat of a trade. When the trade is going in our favor, just get a decent profit out of it and pocket it and look for something else. And again, the more Fiserv moves up, the farther it gets away from the 8, the more likely it is to eventually pull back to it. Qs went right through the pivot point here. Pretty nice. It's a pretty nice recovery in the market. Again, they're rammed into all the exponential moving averages as a resistance, but that was a nice little move in the Qs. That was a nice SPY super system trade right there. Again, I tried to get in, I missed it, and it worked out pretty nicely. Same thing on the SPY. SPY was exactly the same as the Qs. Hope some folks grabbed that. I tried to, didn't get it. For us to get to our profits in Fiserv, the options right now is at 7.45. We're trying to get out at 8. That's about 55 cents to the upside on Fiserv. So typically probably gonna have to go through about 217.25 or so. 217.25 on Fiserv would probably be pretty close to taking profits. It's up about $1.50 right now. So it needs to go up about another 75 cents or so. Haven't put a price target on Reddit yet. We get plenty of time on Reddit. You got Dash yesterday, and it tanked heavily this morning, but holding on to it as long as EMA 15 holds. Same with Delta Airlines. Yeah, the airlines were strong yesterday. They're a little weak today. Delta broke the EMA 8 on the 18th, but both yesterday and today the EMA 15 holds. Q, nice pop, George. Yeah, Q's nice pop on the Qs. Again, I tried to grab a SPY super system trade, and it was a really nice setup. Let me take a look at the Dash. The Dash is set up on the daily. Yeah, Dash is fine. I mean, again, it got a little extended from the 8 a few days ago. It's pulled back to the 8, down close to the 15, bouncing off the 15 today. So if you're bullish on this, I'm still bullish on it. So you did, in my opinion, Trine, you did the right thing to hold on to that. Delta Airlines, I still like. Delta Airlines bounced right off the 15 this morning. The airlines are bullish. Delta is bullish. United Airlines is bullish. Both really nice setups. I don't know which I would consider the better than the other. I think probably United a little bit better, but both really nice, strong setups. About 12 o'clock right now. Market trying to make a nice bounce. Again, it's got some resistance, but this was a nice little move in the SPYs. this is a fairly significant bounce right through the VWAP here. On the SPYs and the triple Qs, same thing. And the IWM, also a decent bounce. Not as strong as the Qs and the SPY though. Qs really nice move. Again, I always keep the Qs, the SPY, the IWM. I'm always looking at it. I always want to know what the market's doing. It has a big impact on everything, that every trade we take. Whether it's a swing trade or whether it's just an intraday trade or it's a SPY super system trade. What the indexes are doing are really important because most stocks follow the market. Not all of them, but most of them follow the market. We have this scan here, which this tells us stocks that are outperforming to the upside. Notice the stock market moving up. If I look at these stocks right here are going to be moving to the downside. These are relative weakness. So if I'm looking for stocks, if the market turns around to go short, then I could look at some of these. None of these are really particularly outstanding. Reddit's showing a little bit of a pullback here, but that's certainly not short. Now Nike is a decent short setup here, and on the day trade, on the daily chart, it's also bearish. So Nike would be considered, if the market turned down, that's a decent short. A lot of these are just coming off of highs today, so I wouldn't consider them bearish. And on the upside, of course, the market's moving up, so there's going to be a lot of stocks that are cascading up because the market's cascading up. And again, when you take these, you've got to take a look at the daily chart as well. If you look at WSM, it looks really nice here. But look at this huge gap up in it. When I see a big move like that, first thing I think of is, right, I'm not going to chase a stock like that. What I might do is do a strangle on it or a straddle on it if I can get the option prices I want. Again, that's coming off of earnings. You can see 11:20 earnings. Big move up. So again, when you look at the names, you've got to take a look at the daily chart. You've got to take a look at the context of the longer term daily chart. You got to determine what happened, what caused that big bounce. You know, this APP has been beautiful for a good long time here. Nice setup in APP. But I like doing the PBOs, the pullbacks, because it's you're getting in at a lower price than if I was trading app on the daily chart. If I'm trading app on the daily chart right now, and it is a good setup. But again, you see it's extended a little bit. You could easily pull back to the 8. If I get in yesterday right here as it comes off the 8, that's a much better entry level. Just like when we get in Reddit yesterday, this was a nice entry level coming off the 8. Just a little red candle today, but still a really nice setup. And that buy right here, again, pull right back, starting to bounce up. They're nice setups. Just trying to find the very best trades we can. There's a SPY coming back down below the pivot point now. A lot of times that's like a failed breakout. Try to break through the pivot point, didn't make it. It's likely going to pull right back down to the VWAP again. Not much space though. Still green, so you can't short it. My thoughts on ALB calls. Albemarle. Okay, let's again. I like to show these charts. I hope this is. If you think this is too much showing these TC2000 charts all the time, to show the context of it, let me know. They're important to me for trading. I don't want to bore people with them. But if you look at Albemarle here, okay, it looks bullish, right? But if you look at this thing, look at the down. It's been in a tremendous downtrend here for a long time, but it's really choppy. See this? I'll chop up and down. And one thing to notice on these kind of trades, look at all the wicks and tails on these candlesticks. It just moves up, pulls back. A lot of choppiness in something like this. And I was trying to break out, but I don't like that. I like the bounce here today off the 8 because it's like a PBO. But the choppiness in this thing is, look at this, big green, big red, big green, big red. Too choppy for me to trade it. Again, it may very well be a nice long, but I don't want to trade that kind of setup. Stephen, okay to show TC 2000? Okay, yeah, that's fine. You know, listen, I use TC 2000 as my charting program, and I can see my support resistance levels much more clearly on the daily chart than I can on Thinkorswim. So that's why I have it. And I have some scans on TC 2000 too that I can't do on Thinkorswim. Although these scans right here, the cascading up and cascading downs, are really nice to try to find relative strength and relative weakness stocks. And I have a bunch of other scans in here. I mean, I've got the list of scans that I have is quite a lot. Again, you know, here's this cascading up daily, cascading up in the 5 minute. That's what we're running right now. And then I've got this Laguerre, which is the current time frame momentum crossing up to the 20, which makes it bullish. I've got a lot of different scans in here. This RLT scan is a nice scan too. RLT scan for 5 minutes. That's looking for stocks that are popping out of the box, either bullishly or bearishly. It looks for both of them. Again, if you get the software, if you get the compass system or the SPY super system, we call it, with all the indicators, etc., you get the scanners as well. STLV, Mike. Steel Dynamics. Right here. It's a PBO. Steel Dynamics. Big bull flag. Pull right back. Notice it broke the bull flag, which was about right here. Pull back to the 8, through the 15, then back up above the 8, and the right 15 back above the 8 today. Pretty nice little PBO setup right here. Earnings on the 28th, however. Alright, so a week, 28th. That's Thanksgiving. I don't know about that. Oh, sorry, that's January 28th. Never mind. Yeah, so nothing to worry about there. But that's a pretty nice little setup right here on the Steel Dynamics. See what X is doing today. Big move up in X. But yeah, that's a nice setup in STLD. Again, a lot of steel is very newsy right now, with the Nippon and the U.S. Steel merge, no merge, deal, no deal. Who knows what's going to happen? So they're very, news headlines can drive it. So just be aware of that. Nothing here to really trade in the SPY super system. There was one good IWM trade this morning, and then a nice QS SPY trade earlier. Yeah, we just talked about. Those are the two good trades today in the SPY super system. You don't need very many good ones. 1 or 2 a day is plenty. There's FBRX just moving sideways. Reddit trying to bounce back up some more. Yeah, 12.11 right now. And a pretty big gap, market gap down, fell down hard, went right to support, and then tried to bounce back up again. Now it's just trading in range. Again, we're inside of yesterday's range on the candlesticks.
On monetary policy, Fed making closer to neutral policy than policymakers currently think. Inflation remains a concern. It says her estimate of neutral policy rate is much higher than before COVID pandemic. Those are our comments out by Fed's Bowman.
SPY coming down. And I'm watching. I keep a close eye on the daily chart to see how the IWM. I'm sorry, the Qs came right back down to this algo line, this yellow line right here. It's a long-term algo line. This is what institutions use a lot of times for entries and exits of trade, to see how it's supported here, supported here, supported here, bounce back up again today. SPY as well, right to that support, 585.39, bounce right up against the 8. So again, we're inside of yesterday's candle. There's yesterday's candle. Inside day. See, the day before was an inside day on this candle, and then yesterday, big bullish engulfing candle. We engulfed the whole candle from the previous day. Now another inside day so far. Qs as well, pretty close to the high on the Qs, but hasn't quite got above yesterday's high. IWM right there. If we look at the Qs, we look at the 8, we'll take a look at yesterday's high, 503.95, 503.95. So that would be a breakout of yesterday's high, which would give us a little bit of room to the upside here. Don't know that it's going to happen, but something to be aware of. Joshua, you had NVIDIA, couldn't hold it through earnings yet. It's not really a good idea to hold it through earnings. You can always reevaluate it after earnings. You had the February 21st call option on it. Yeah, that's out in time quite a ways. When you go that far out, of course, you're either looking for a gain on it quickly, or you're planning on holding it through options. You know, it's gone. Yeah, I get you. But you know, when you just remember, when you go way out on an expiration date on options, you're gonna have to trade it through earnings. I mean, if you're out that far, because you're paying a lot of money for an option that far out in time, and you know, a lot of time value into the thing. If you're not planning on holding it over earnings, the best thing to do is take, if you want to get a call that expires after earnings, take it like a week after, because it's gonna have a lot of implied volatility in it, so you're gonna pay a little bit more for it. But when you get out before earnings, if the stock goes against you or goes sideways, your time decay is going to be much lower on the one the option that expires after earnings if it's just a week. But when you go out all the way into February, you're paying for time for all those months. So it just costs you more to do that. And if you get out before earnings, then you're going to hold most of that value, but you're just you're tying up much more of your capital to do that. About 12:15. I got to take lunch about 12:30. Get something to eat about another 15 minutes or so. And at 12:30, I'll shut down the YouTube feed. So about another 15 minutes of that. Anybody on YouTube, I'm happy to answer any questions you've got. Josh, you're talking about using 25,000 to trade the SPY Super System. Here's the thing: when you're trading SPY Super System, those are all intraday trades. They're all going to be intraday trades. Now, if you don't have $25,000 in your account, or you're not using a cash account, then you can only do 3 round trips, intraday round trips in a 5-day period. So that means you can only do 3 trades. So that's the problem. Now, if you're trading futures, you don't have that problem. You can trade the ES, the NQ, or the RTY. And not have PDTs. I don't know why that is, but you don't have to. But so if you don't have 25,000 in your account, then they're going to stop you after you do 3 trades. And if you take another trade, they're going to warn you that you can't do that. And if you do it again, they're going to block you from making any trades for a while. So that's why it's important. And the reason I say the SPY Super System, because you're going to have way more than 3 trades in a week on the SPY Super System. You could have 4 or 5 trades in a day. So that's why it's important to try to do the SPY Super System using that. Now, all the other trades we take are based on the daily chart, which means they can even if I get out during the day on one of my trades, if you can't because you're limited to the number of day trades you can take, they're all set up with off of daily charts that are either bullish or bearish on the daily chart, which means you can stay in them overnight. They're all constructed to be able to stay in them overnight, so that if you can't close them out that day because you're limited under PDT rules, you can hold them overnight and still do fine with them. So that's how it's done. And again, when we do any kind of time spreads or credit spreads, Those are all multiple day type trades. Those don't impact your PDT. NVIDIA was part of overtrading for you, Joshua. Yeah, listen, that's one of the things that a lot of traders do is overtrade. They chase trades. They have fear of missing out, which is why I keep saying in the room that our objective here is not to make trades. Our objective is to make money. We do that by only taking the very best trades we can find. And while we're waiting for trades to come up, because we don't take a lot of trades, we can use SPY super system trades if you like to do those kind of trades. It's a great way to enhance your profits. And that profit I don't show in my monthly results on the regular trades. I have the SPY super system trades completely separate, and they've been doing really, really well. But the whole point here is to have patience. We're trying to instill patience and discipline is what makes traders who are consistently profitable. It makes them profitable. I mean, you hear all kinds of stories about people who are making all this fantastic amounts of money by starting with $500 or starting with $5,000 and going to $500,000. It's all baloney. Don't listen to that garbage, because everybody if you put it into one stock, one Bitcoin option or something, it goes crazy. Then you make the money and say, oh yeah, I made that much money. You think you can do that consistently? You can't. And the whole point here is to be consistently profitable. Just to make money week after week after month. And you're going to have some losing weeks. You're going to have some losing months. This room, I'm in my 35th month right now, and we've had 3 losing months out of those 35 months. And so you're going to have some, of course. But with the methodology we've got here, I think this is the very best way to be consistently profitable. I may be somewhat biased, but I've been doing this a long time. What options, expiration, strike price do I suggest trading the Qs by? Larry, what I do is this is the setups I use on the SPY super system. All right. Up until about 12:30 in the morning, I'm gonna until 12:30 at lunchtime, I'm gonna be using current day's expiration, and I'm gonna be one strike in the money. Roughly one strike in the money. Like if I was trading in SPY right now, it's trading at 586.48. If I was going to go long, I take a 587 put, and if I was going to go short, a 587 put. If I was going to go long, I would take a 585 call. I want to have some intrinsic value in the option, so that I don't get time decayed to death if it's moved sideways. Now, after about 12:30, right about now, if I take a SPY super system trade from now until the rest of the day, I'm going to be using expirations on tomorrow, because I don't want to. I'm going to pay more for them, but I don't want to be impacted by time decay if the stock moves against me or moves sideways, and I have to stay in it for 5 or 6 or 7 candles. If it moves sideways, the time decay on today's expiration is going to be much higher than tomorrow's expiration. All right. Hopefully that's clear. All right, about another 5 minutes, I'm going to grab some lunch, and I'll shut down the YouTube feed at that point. Thanks everybody on YouTube for Wave. I appreciate everybody coming in to watch the presentation today. Been kind of an interesting day, kind of a gap down. Looked like it was going to be a bearish trending day, and then the market's turned around now, and now it's basically just an inside day. It's what we call LPTE, low probability trading environment, with the stocks IWM, the Qs, and the SPY all trading inside of yesterday's range. No breakout to the above previous high, and no break down below previous low. Joshua, hypothetically, if you were long a call option before earnings and the stock shoots way up, what is the trade? If you're long a call option before earnings and the stock shoots way up, what's the trade? Take your profits in the call. If it's gone up enough to give you some profits, I mean, the thing is that the premiums on these options going into earnings are astronomically high, which is why you can't consistently make money over earnings by picking a direction or even doing a strangle or a straddle, because the market makers have got the premiums jacked up too much. The only way that I know to consistently make money over earnings is with the time spread, where you're selling this week's call and buying next week's call, creating a calendar spread, or what I call a time spread, because what you're doing is you're harvesting the implied volatility crush when after earnings comes out. That's the only way I know to consistently trade earnings, and I don't care which way the stock goes. It's non-directional. Joshua, do I sell something? Do I sell what I have or open something else? My methodology on if you have an option over earnings and it gaps up big, I take profits, because you don't know what it's going to do after that. Is it going to keep going? Maybe. But remember, when you get a big gap up in earnings, you're getting way away from the 8 exponential moving average, which means at some point in time it's going to come back down to it, or it's going to sit there and wait for the 8 to catch up. I did not take a MSTR debit spread today, Joshua. And somebody asked me about that earlier, and let me tell you why I didn't. You know, it's a really volatile stock, and I did make money on it yesterday, but I didn't because of when I took it yesterday. It was fairly close to the 8 exponential moving average. See how far away this is, and this would have worked beautifully because it kept going up. But once you get up here, there's way too much chance of a pullback in the stock during the day, which is going to kill your call debit spread that expires Friday. I mean, absolutely kills it. This thing could drop, down, could drop $30 from here. So I didn't take it because of that. It probably would have worked, but I didn't take it. And the thing is, the more it gets extended, if I don't take profits in the debit spread today, and let's say it expires Friday, so I'm planning on holding it overnight, because I didn't make my profit, or I'm down a little bit of money on it, the likelihood that it pulls back is even higher tomorrow than it is today. So that's why I didn't take it. I fell below the VWAP. Now it's trying to bounce back up again. You're very choppy here now. Very choppy. And again, if we trade inside of yesterday's range, there's going to be a bunch of chop. And it's really important to understand what some days are good for trading, some days aren't. Yesterday was a pretty good day because the market was moving up all day, had a nice bullish engulfing bar. Today, very choppy. And we got NVIDIA tonight after the close, so remember that's going to impact especially the tech stocks. And tech, the semis, AMD, Intel, ASML, LSCC, all the chip stocks are going to be impacted by whatever NVIDIA does tonight. And Sophie, I'm heading out. Well, I'm just going to get some lunch. I'm really not heading anywhere, Joshua. I'm just going to get some lunch and bring it back and watch the market while I eat. But I'll look at Sophie for you. All right, so here's the Sophie daily trade. This is daily chart. What we're trading off of. See this PBO in Sophie gets above this algo line. See this algo line that it broke through, and then pulled back, and then broke through yesterday. And then today, there's your resistance level, which is this high of this candle. This is not a really strong resistance level because there's not that other candles that touch that level, but that's the level off of the gap up here. So that's it right there at what, 14.48. It's trading above that right now. Really nice setup. Can go all the way up to 16.47 on Sophie. You're going to get a 265 sell order on Sophie. It's trading at 228 right now. And we have the 1250 calls. It's trading at 1457. So it's got about 207 of intrinsic value in it. But we got quite a bit of time in it. It's not a fast-moving stock. This stock doesn't put in big candles. It has an ATR of about 79 cents. So not a stock that makes big moves. So we're just looking for small moves in this thing. 60. If we get out on this at we make 60 cents on it, that'd be pretty nice. I mean, that's over 30. That's about 30%. All right, I'm gonna get some lunch. The out is 265, pretty close. It's not that close, really. The stock's it doesn't move that much. You get a 79 cent ATR on it, so you know it's got to move up to get to our price of 265. What's it at right now? Trading at 228. So say 230. It's about 35. Got to go about 35 cents. So the stock's got to move up probably about 60 cents here. Got to move up to around $15. Around $15 on Sophie. High today was $14.89. Sophie hit a 52-week high. Yeah, yep. Yeah, no, it's a nice breakout in Sophie, and it is. Yeah, it's high for the year. And typically stocks that make all new all-time highs and new highs for the year, they tend to keep going. A lot of people think that when a stock makes an all-time high, it's a big risk. It's overbought. No, it's not. It's typically going to keep on going. You don't have any bag holders above there that are looking to get out. All you got is people taking profits. So they tend to continue up over time. So don't think because the stock has reached an all-time high or an all-time low that it's not likely to continue in the same direction it is. More likely than not. All right, gonna grab some lunch. I'll be back in just a little bit, and I'm gonna go ahead and end the YouTube feed. Thanks everybody from YouTube for being on the broadcast today. Appreciate having you all in here. I'll be back again tomorrow around 11 o'clock.